everyone, and thank you for joining us today. Focus of today's conversation is the importance of safe and quality repairs. We at FenderBender and ABRN wanted to recognize the deep thinkers who iron out the details of repairs big and small, and know how technicians can use the latest tools, equipment, and knowledge to bring vehicles back from crashes. New for 2024, the Best Repair Planner Estimator Award celebrates those who place an unwavering emphasis on safe and quality repairs. We will soon be announcing the winner of the Best Repair Planner and Estimator, who has the know-how to improve efficiency while committing to safety and OEM-specified repair quality every time. Joining us today are three of this year's sponsors of the award. Craig Edmonds is president of asTech. Derek Goroff is Vice President, Planning and Industry Talent Programming at ICAR, and David Caulfield is President and CEO of Flashback Forward Incorporated, which offers FinalQC. And helping me moderate this discussion today, I'm pleased to have Danny Gredinberg, who, when he's not busy administering the Database Enhancement Gateway, or DEG, works with Mike Anderson at Collision Advice. Mike's team was gracious to help us with the final estimating exercise, which was the final step in selecting a winner from our finalists. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you. Welcome.
I think we'll just start out alphabetically. Craig, can you tell us how asTech helps ensure safe quality repairs and enables a more efficient repair planning process?
Sure, and thank you for the opportunity to share. As everyone knows, vehicles are growing increasingly more complex, which in turn has increased the need for technology to assist in the repair planning process. Our technology at asTech assists shops in three major ways. First, by selecting the best scan option. Second, by providing data-driven repair recommendations. And finally, third, for identifying required ADAS calibrations. Let's start with the first one. So it all starts with picking the right scan for the vehicle you're repairing. With asTech, our rules engine gives shops confidence in knowing that they're getting the most accurate, efficient, and economical scan for every vehicle. We've scanned tens of thousands of vehicles and continue to scan vehicles every day to test the results of our tool and other tools against OEM tools to build this database that the rules engine uses to provide two guaranteed accurate scan outcomes. First, an authentic remote OEM diagnostic scan. Through asTech's patented technology, our technology can connect you to an authentic OEM tool for every scan request. Or second, a certified OEM compatible scan performed carside. This is a scan that has been verified through side-by-side testing to provide results that are equivalent to the authentic OE tool scan. We already mentioned that vehicles are growing more complex, and now it's not always feasible for someone at the shop or every shop technician to be an expert in every vehicle they're repairing. And this is where our asTech Insights tool comes into play. So this reporting, which is augmented by AI, helps assist the shop technicians in their quest to repair vehicles accurately. asTech Insights can read the pre-scan and create custom repair recommendations based on the DTCs and provide advice just like a specialist would. This is specifically for OE compatible scans, and those go right into your repair plan. And finally, an accurate ADAS identification is essential to avoid not only supplement, but to ensure a proper repair. We help shops identify all required calibrations, the OEM procedures, and the required equipment through ADAS Think. Thank you.
Dara, we'll take you next. The goal of Collision Careers is to get students on the path to a fulfilling career in collision repair. How is ICAR's curriculum different to find a role that is more of a perfect fit for a career in the collision repair world?
I love that question, and thank you so much for asking it, Jay. First of all, we have built an engine to try to attract people to our industry with collision careers, and we understand that those who enter our industry are going to come in with zero foundational knowledge. So we have to teach them from zero, basically to hero, right? So the iCar Academy curriculum that was built as part of our talent programming initiative is really meant to be fun and engaging and break down the tasks that we all know about, we perform every day in our shops and our repair lives, to the simplest and most repeatable activities, so that somebody who's brand new doesn't just watch a video and then they're expected to be able to perform a task, but they can watch a video with an instructor at a school or a mentor at a shop. Then there is a mentorship guide that goes along with that video that takes the mentor through a way to introduce a repair activity to somebody who's never done it before, has a recommended number of repetitions for that activity. So like I said, you have zero foundational knowledge, but the best way to master knowledge is to repeat it over and over and then do it yourself, right? So the mentor is able to demonstrate it. Then the mentee can take on that activity with oversight to the point that they're comfortable. And one of the best things about the Academy programming is it also takes the objectivity out of whether or not that activity was performed well. So every single hands-on activity that we recommend, we have a rating rubric that allows that mentor to very objectively not only judge the performance of that activity, but to be able to say, here's what you can work on, here's where you can get better, and this is what you will do once you're fully competent and you don't need me anymore. So it really does take that person from zero foundational knowledge to hero. As I think you guys know, we concentrated on 5 core learning areas at first that really take somebody from the fundamentals of how do you find repair procedures? How do you put on your protective equipment? What is vehicle construction and safety systems, all the way through disassembly and reassembly, plastic repair, aluminum and steel small dent repair, and preparation for refinish, because we want somebody new to the industry to feel that they have the full gamut of repair under their belt before they choose a role in a shop, so that they really find their fit. And we help out with retention in that way. But the other great thing about this, and this kind of goes back to something you started out with, and that what Craig is saying as well, is that in order to guarantee a complete, safe, and quality repair, everyone who touches a vehicle really needs to understand the impact of what they do on the work the next person in that kind of production line world needs to do. So we lay the foundation, we make sure that everyone has the appropriate amount of guidance so that they can not only feel comfortable in their work, but really find their culture fit at the shop that they join or at the school that they join.
I really like that holistic viewpoint of keeping in mind of how my work affects the next person to touch that vehicle, how it all fits together. And we'll be coming back for some additional questions. I want to go on to David first here. Can you describe how FinalQC prior to delivery can help standardize the quality control processes to protect you and your customer?
Yes, absolutely. And thanks for having me today, Jay, and everybody. And I'm really glad that this topic's brought up. And our industry's been talking about a quality control process for so many years. And we've heard everybody talk about we need to do this, we need to do that. And our industry for so many years has lacked a quality control application, a technology to help assist shops through the process. So by using FinalQC, FinalQC standardizes the quality control process by providing a collision repair, the ability to verify the quality and the existence of the products and services that they sell before those products and services are presented to the customer. This protects the repair shop, it protects the employees, it protects the consumer, it protects your OE partners, your DRP partners, and in reducing risk and liabilities associated to inferior, and incomplete workmanship. Inferior workmanship, we all know, is not intentional. There's a lot of pressures in our shops to perform on certain KPIs. And so cars are pushed through shops. They're more complex today, and you just can't push that through. So there's a lot of checks and balances that need to take place. And one of the reasons that the industry hasn't had a tool until now is that most folks thought that they were to be very complex and cumbersome and costly and time consuming. And that's just not how it has to be to launch a movement towards beginning a quality control program in your shop. So FinalQC offers 3 modules: customer care module, which which addresses all of the concerns that a consumer would first look at when they look at the vehicle. Those things such as cleanliness and organization of the car and first impressions and so forth. And those are the things that customers are grading you on social media. They're not talking about the frame rail on social media. They're not talking about how the quarter panel was replaced. They're talking about their first impression. So having a tool that will be able to limit that and address those items right off the bat is pretty powerful, and shops are enjoying the pleasures of that. This other module is a post-audit quality check. It's exactly the estimate lines or repair order lines that you have in your management system. They import directly into FinalQC in real time. You don't do anything. They're always updated in there, supplements, everything. And if you have 72 repair lines in your management system, you'll have 72 repair lines in FinalQC. The end user has the ability to use their subjective opinion. If they feel that the quality of the product or service that they charge for meets the standard at the company, and that's a great start. The third thing is we have a full in-depth in-process audit capability, from disassemble all the way through reassemble, all the way to detail through the car, all the different phases, every nut and bolt and everything. So FinalQC has taken an approach that, in order for the industry to get used to something like this and to start standardize a quality control process, we can't send them to college right away. They're going to have to go back to an elementary level, and we're going to look at the vehicle we're going to look at the vehicle after it's washed, but before we call the customer. Of course, shops are, the best method is to look at have a quality program throughout the entire repair, period. There's no question about that. But we know the industry that we're in. We have a lot of respect for everybody that's in the industry. Shops do a great job on cars for the most part, and some better than others. But when you're implementing a new program and you're implementing change, and shops haven't been required to look at things all along the way or look at things at the end in a standardized way, our elementary approach allows you to look at that vehicle before you call the customer to verify every single line of that estimate was performed to the company standard, and that item exists, that you actually did perform it. Surprisingly, there's a lot of things not performed on vehicles before they leave. You can imagine how that multiplies up in all the cars on the road that might have things that have been charged for and not done. It can affect the quality of the repair, the drivability of a car, and so forth. So starting out and realizing that you're catching things at the end of the line will eventually teach you that you need to start backing up into your collision repair center and start checking things in different phases. Start looking at paint, start looking at body, look at frame, look at mechanical, look at all these different aspects and skill sets of the trade. We have that tool built in. Everyone gets that the same way. It's all included in the app. But it gives you the ability to start practicing, to start changing the behavior, have a new culture in your shop that nothing leaves without a QC process done on it. And so a standardized QC process allows a shop to look at every single car the same way, period. And keeping it simple. And that makes quite a difference for folks. Reducing the risk and liability is huge. Our insurance partners for many years have counted on us to do this, but it's time that there's some accountability for it for owners like myself of collision shops, that I sleep better at night knowing when I see something across my phone that says we missed this or we missed that. Again, it's not intentional. I'm glad we caught it. It's a high five moment. There's no reprimanding. There's no nothing. There's a ton of learning experiences here. But at the same time, that vehicle did not leave the shop with those items missed or lacking the quality that we all deserve as a company, and we need to provide our customers. So it sure brings for a peaceful night, and it's definitely changed the way the way that we approach cars in the shop. The shops that use FinalQC today are experiencing the same things. They're having higher CSI scores. They're having less redos. They don't have the Monday morning comeback. The rental costs have been reduced by a lot. And the morale is higher in the shop too, because FinalQC, when it does communicate to the technicians. They don't need the application, only the people in your shop that do the quality checks on the cars, the estimators or production manager or a quality person. They're the only ones who use the application, but the whole shop is communicated to. If there was a failure on a paint item, the painter would receive a personal and private text right to his own space, his own private area, pointing out what the area was. They walk over to the car, address it, move on. No public reprimanding, no humiliation, definitely a morale booster. Also with quality, it goes two ways. It's not just about picking out something. It's about praising somebody for a job well done. Very often, and a feature that the shops like to see a lot, is that if the auditor likes something that was done and they think that's exceptional or above standard, they touch a button and in 2 seconds, the technician has it and they're aware that management is recognizing them for a quality repair, for an outstanding job on this particular part, this car, this area, this item, or what have you. So again, FinalQC can standardize the process, takes an elementary approach to help the shops. We all humble up and start over again. And in a few years, you'll be in process, or a few months. That's great. But we got to start somewhere. And we feel this is the best way to start.
I like that, for that continuous process improvement. And I'm surprised that there aren't more items missed on most repairs. When I think about the number of parts that have been increased over the years, like me working on restoring my old 78 Chevy pickup, it's got a chrome bumper. That's it. That's the face bar. There's no impact absorber. There's no cover. It's got 2 braces and a couple of brackets and, like 4 or 6 bolts or something like that. That's it. You look at the number of parts on just a bumper today, a bumper assembly, and grills have grill shutters, and that's for the most part, that's the pretty easy stuff. So one of the things that our Best Repair Planner Estimator Award winner talked about in our interview was how he has to jump back and forth between vehicles so much that he has to have like his own system of note taking to keep him on task, to make sure he doesn't miss something, because he's on the phone with the parts dealer, the new car dealer parts department, ordering parts, and then the next time he's assessing a vehicle. So having something like that, I could see being a big help. Craig, I want to go back to you briefly. Part of our industry survey we do every year, we ask what shops are doing for their ADAS calibration. And fortunately, the number's going down, but I'm still surprised at the number of shop owners or operators or whomever is responding to the survey that claim they're not doing any, or if they are, it's a complete sublet. I wanted to ask you, does asTech do you have any like hard figures, hard numbers on what the industry awareness is of the importance of ADAS calibrations and scans, or what's your general impression of that?
I don't have any hard figures, but I can certainly give you my general impression. I think it's improving is the best way I would describe it. That said, I still think there's an opportunity out there. Just because a code is clear doesn't necessarily mean that all of the proper repairs took place before. And I think David kind of referenced that maybe indirectly in his very good response just a minute ago. What we do know is that like I said, there are tools out there like asTech that help shops understand when a calibration is needed and specifically what calibration is needed. And what we try to do is to ensure that they're put in a position to not only identify it through asTech, but we certainly assist them in any way we can. We have mobile techs, we have technicians that are at shops, and we have remote technicians that can assist all of our shop customers with calibrations.
Right. That to your point about that asTech, it reminds me of a personal experience I had a few years ago. My wife had a 2019 Volkswagen that needed a windshield replaced. The vehicle's like a year old, but unfortunately we met a dump truck and on a 2-lane road, and like just one little chip and it just shattered. And so of course, me knowing about the importance of these calibrations, I knew the vehicle had certain features. It had some kind of I didn't know if it was a forward camera or if it was a radar, but there was something in there that helped with cruise. I mean, not now. Granted, I didn't drive the vehicle that much, but it had some kind of a smart cruise control and blind spot monitors, etc. And it had not just the typical tiny little shoe that mounts the old-fashioned rear view mirrors, you know. And so I was looking through the owner's manual, trying to find out with what equipment this vehicle has. She had talked to the glass company, and they reassured her, no, this vehicle doesn't need any kind of calibration. And of course, I was very skeptical about it. Well, long story short, it turned out that this vehicle with that trim level did not have a forward camera. My mother-in-law's had a similar vehicle, but more upscale or up-level trim level. And I looked at the difference, and it had like a much larger mount on it for a forward camera. So indeed, all she had was a radar in the grille. And so the windshield was not anything special. But without something like this ADAS Think as a shop, or I wouldn't maybe know, you know, what kind of equipment's needed on that thing. So
you certainly wouldn't. You wouldn't know what the required calibrations are, what the OEM procedures are, what the right equipment is, and it's so critical. I mean, the emphasis here is proper repairs, safe repairs. And in today's vehicles, if you don't have an appropriate calibration, you can't ensure that you have a proper and safe repair. And that's, at the end of the day, that's what we're all here to support, is to make sure that once the repair is complete, that customer is able to safely drive that vehicle away. And I'm 100% aligned with your statement. You have to have a tool like ADAS Think to help you make those determinations.
And Dara, do you find that today's students, or are they more interested in safe and proper repairs, or I mean, are they taking more pride in their work, would you say, or any thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely. And what's really exciting to me is we actually know that it's not just today's students, but if we did a survey a little bit under a year ago of seasoned technicians, and we found out two really, really positive things that I think will make all of us breathe a sigh of relief. First of all, students are absolutely eager to learn about new technologies. It's part of the reason that now is the time to start attracting people back to the skilled trades and attracting them to the automotive verticals and to collision repair specifically, is because there is so much integrated technology in every vehicle. We all talk about the lines of code that our cars are computers on wheels. You just told a great story, Jay, about how, you know, you just don't know until you actually can see under the skin of a vehicle what's really damaged in a collision. So young people find that to be an incredibly exciting opportunity to learn about safety systems, to learn about calibrations, to get really excited about electric vehicles. And our newest curriculum reflects those points of excitement. But our survey also illustrated that even the most seasoned techs, the technicians who do this every day and who have been doing it for decades, are so excited when their employers invest in them with additional training. It doesn't matter if it's iCar training that they're exposed to, or they receive training from an OEM, or maybe even their insurance network bringing some training to them. They want to be invested in. They always want to feel like they're moving forward. And when their employers do take the time and invest in them, they are more likely to stay. And circling it back to our favorite topic, far more likely to be able to do a complete, safe, and quality repair because they are up to speed on that last, I will say this, the cutting edge technology that we're also excited about seeing how it flourishes in our vehicles today.
Oh, for sure. I know back in high school, I took electronics at the Votech school. It was they called it the Vocational Technical School my junior year. My senior year, they had already begun embracing the more current, you know, nomenclature of Career Center. But back then, you know, my school did not offer collision repair. It was just auto mechanics, and electronic fuel injection was even still fairly new at the time. So, you know, there wasn't a lot of technology that really would have gotten me excited. And so I could see today's, you know, I could see. I've got my kids a little bit interested, but they're more in I have all daughters, and they're all interested more in the health careers. But I did have my youngest did help me pull a bumper on her car once that needed to have a headlight replaced. So she does know her way around a car a little bit.
You know, the funniest thing, you just spiked something in me, because it's not just the technology that we have inside the vehicles, but the other thing that's pretty exciting, especially for for the young people who are in, just finishing high school, even 7th and 8th grade, or just starting college, is we also use the newer technology to teach them competencies now. So having artificial intelligence, having the beauty of being able to sometimes train them on things that are robotics, or being able to look through an Oculus and see a virtual image of something that they're going to either spray or weld or potentially calibrate later. So it's the technology in the vehicle, and then also the technology that we can use to convey the competencies.
Oh, for sure. Danny, I haven't given you a chance to talk yet. Was there anything that you were curious about, or?
No, I mean, I think all the points have been on, just spot on right there. And, Dara, to your point, using the technology is a huge, selling point, to attract new talent. I'll tell you, at the last facility that I managed in California, I was able to give back to the school that I came, the tech school that I came from. And we pay for the bus, get them to come, bring the students into our facility. And I didn't want to show them the dents and dings and the welding, because they learn all that, they see all that in their environment. But I took them over to our electronic specialist, to our interior specialist, and I really was attracting. I mean, we were in the Silicon Valley, and that was our selling point right there. Is that's how I'm going to compete against getting new talent. So we were really showing them the Teslas, the EV cars, the scanning diagnostics, and that's where I got a lot of more interest in showing them you're going to be fixing dents and dings. And then ultimately, when they did come, guess what? They ended up becoming body technicians, doing the dent repair and the framework and the welding, but they started off with the understanding that technology is huge on these cars these days. So that's absolutely critical. But also just to back it up a little bit, talking about the process, quality control. It all starts from the very beginning of the entire repair, and the very first person that communicates with that customer, that client, with the guest, right? And it's really important that we understand that just writing a quick sheet and passing it off to the next person is absolutely going to be detrimental to the final outcome. Whereas if you take that time up front to research, read, digest it, understand it, read those scan reports, read the procedures, pull those procedures, right, and actually review those things, not just say I have it, but actually review it and digest it, read the P pages, go into your estimating system, you will absolutely make a difference in that final outcome. And you will hear me say this, every time I teach a class, be proactive and not reactive to it, and you'll absolutely, win this, and, be more efficient and really be proud of the final quality of work at the very end.
Danny, is there a quick guide, you might say, for if I'm a repair planner or estimator and I'm wanting to better myself, I'm wanting to get better at what I do, what's the first step?
Ask, really just raise your hand and ask the question. I'm in a position here where, being an administrator for the DEG, working with the collision advice, and, we are all about, just helping people get to their final outcome. It's not about, there's no dumb question, honestly. I mean, we get questions all the time. Where do I find something? And sometimes in the back of my mind, I'm like, really, it's like something so simple, but I also remind myself that's someone that's seeking help and that's really looking to, know more. And, so instead of giving the answer, maybe it's helping guide them to that answer, so that way they can see that process, and really it's really showing them that there's a path to getting there. And that's what we want to show, and that way they can get there on their own on the next time, right? And again, when they see that there's a resource out there available, I mean, that's what we're here to give back to the industry. I mean, DEG is 100% free to the industry. I mean, you got nothing to lose by using that resource. And even, working with collision advice, I mean, we have amazing classes out there. We offer, training through the manufacturers, Toyota, Nissan, Porsche. We offer our general collision advice training course, to get people to, find that information. And I can tell you, our entire team has spent countless hours, just, at no charge to the industry, just giving feedback and helping them. So, I mean, we're all in this together, and, really it's to help that, the shop, the estimator, repair planner, the CSR, and really, how can we intrigue them to want to learn more and take them to the next level?
I think Danny said this best. We're all in it together. We all want to see safe, quality, complete repairs. We all talk about it all the time. And the transition from the idea of a simple estimate being enough to a true repair plan being the thing that we're all trying to proliferate and target. And even, with the academy curriculum focused on entry-level talent, teaching them how to do things the right way from the very first time they walk into a shop, and the importance and the impact for the driver and this important asset that they own. I think we all feel exactly the same way about it. So it's, like I said, a pure delight to be involved in this, to be able to be part of it with this group of people, and to be present to see the award winner. Because, I can't wait to see that.
All right. Well, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us today. For more information, we'll post the websites of the sponsors for today's session. I want to thank everybody for joining us, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.